back. Breaking news right now. We've just had a X 2.8 come off the sun here. That's it right there. Okay, let me get this dialed in for you guys. I'm just kind of doing emergency alert real quick here. We'll do a full report on this tonight. But I wanted to pop in here while I got an opportunity. This just happened, okay? We're just coming out of it right now. There's your event that was over here on the right. We'll come back to that and I'll point out the object here in a minute. First, let's come over here to Solar Ham. You can see here on our GOES X-ray flux, here's our X-flare right there, and we're still coming down out of it right now as we speak, all right? So this is currently underway. It produced an R3 radio blackout momentarily, okay? So we had more absorption from the X-rays that hit us down below here. Let me just scroll up. I'll show you in red here. This is an X 2.8. Everybody agrees on the magnitude of it, okay? Really quick, here's a quick little shot of it right there. This is going to have significant effects. You see that it's still on the Earth-facing side of the sun, all right? Even if it projected out kind of sideways, it's still going to hit us. There's still X-rays that already hit us, all right? So the CME that's accompanying this will graze us, all right? So this is, 3 days down the road, but right now we are currently coming out of this X 2.8. Let me zoom in just really good for you guys here. Welcome people in the chat here, just kind of popping on during the daytime here. I'm very, very busy, man. I had to stop the entire battle to come and do this so we could report on it right now. So, okay. As you can see, it's been a busy day. We already had this big M flare right here, a secondary long duration M flare right there, and now this X flare, all right? These three waves of energy coming at us in one day, all right? That's going to be, we're going to be rocking and rolling here soon, all right? The absorption thing has already gone down. It was probably red right here over South America, right when it hit, okay? They'll probably come up with the captures of that later on, probably for tonight's show. But for right now, I just wanted to get on here and let you guys know we've had an X 2.8, all right? Our first X flare in a long time with these two big M flares, not big, but these two M flares right in front of it, okay? So watch out. The sun is getting active today, and this might not be our only X flare for the day. Dare I say that, but look at this. We went from, boom, boom, and now we've had an X flare. So it went up into R3 range, probably created a radio blackout for a while. This X flare potential of 5%, well, might as well be 99% right now because we are currently coming out of an X flare. Alrighty, 2.8, there we go. Let me go back to our event now. Boom, you see it blossoming and exploding off the side there. Howdy, folks, in your face. No audio or your face. You guys don't have audio? Uh-oh, I just saw no audio or face. Well, I don't do my face. I kind of keep my face hidden. If you want to see my face, it's on my channel somewhere, but you have to seek it. Okay, cool. You hear me fine? Good. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That's all I need to know. All right, so back to this event now. Let's boom, 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 catch this. We had the little weird flash thingy there that looked like a glitch in the camera, but I'm not really worried about that. This is our event right here. Let me back up a little bit. Boom, boom, boom. All right, you can see it as it's coming out from behind the occulter. Over on this side is a really good shot of this object just wrapped in plasma. All right, and you see it right here, this round spheroid black object all wrapped in, draped in plasma right there. So there's a good shot of it. Let me pull back out, get to the clicker again. Come on, clicker. There we go. Now you see as it emerges and starts to move across the screen there. Let me pick up on this side where, let me pull this down just a tad bit more. All right, boom, boom. You can also see another one trailing back behind it right here. Let me zoom in on that one as well. The black and white side's not, it's so bright that it's kind of blinding the camera, but you can see another dark patch here, and this little guy right there. Let me go in even tighter, sorry. All this zooming in and out. Trying to get the best little capture for you there. Alright, so there's another one right there trailing. You can see a bow shock on the back and on the front of that one. It's all wrapped in plasma. So there was a secondary one. There appears to be another dark patch right here, so possibly another one there. Now let me back out of this again to use the buttons. All this. And where is this good shot? Let's go back right there. Okay, I'm going to zoom in on this side real quick. And pull this over a little bit more for you. Now, let me tint this out a little bit. Whoops, right about there. Now, ta-da! You can see our object, round black spheroid, totally engulfed and wrapped in plasma right there. And the instrument reacting to it. Here, we got too much light in here. Hang on for a second. Blinding my camera. All right, hopefully that works a little bit better. I'll even zoom in more on it so we can really get a good capture of it. Whoa. All right, right there. There's your object. Round black spheroid, all this plasma around it. The instrumentation reacting to it, it caused an X2.8. All right, it looks to have a little partner maybe with it. Something trailing back here behind. Oh, no, that's the ghost image, I think. All right, so there's your object right there. Let me back out a few. That seems to still be blinding the camera. All right. Well, anyways, it's in there. It's not very dark, but it's because it's so wrapped in plasma. All right. So let's get back out of that. Now, as this event continues to move off the screen here. Boom, boom, boom. It's bringing, look how wide the range is from here clear up to there. So that was a big event. Back up through it. And it took a lot of plasma with it. So it's going to have a CME with it. You can see this little bright spot still glowing over here. And then there's a secondary one right there. That's the one we zoomed in on. All right, so a couple of objects, multiple objects right there, it looks like. Pull it back down just a little more. All right, let me start that loop again and let that loop play for a second. Let you guys, your trained eye, look at that for a minute. And there's your X2.8, our first X flare in a while. All right, significant X flare. It's not a M9.8, just barely an X flare. This is a solid 2.8. Long duration, not long duration, but mid to slow duration CME that looks to graze us. All right. We'll see the, let's see if they even have the tracker updated yet. Just come over here real quick. I want to check out the tracker. See our auroras as we're passing by. They're green. There's a little tiny yellow stripe in there. All right. We probably, going to take a little shot on the chin here from this X flare. Okay, because you can see it hasn't passed the limb. All right. It's still within range of hitting us. It's going to give us a glancing blow. Now let's see what this tracker is showing here. Nothing yet. This is the old one from last night. Yeah, this event is still underway and still so fresh that they haven't put it on the tracker yet, but I bet it will be going this way with the edge clipping the earth. Okay. We'll update. Hopefully they'll update that for tonight's show. Okay. Meantime, let me back out of this again. Bring back up here to the GOES X-ray flux. Let's zoom in on this one more time. Why don't you guys take a little deep breath while we look at this. Now we have this energy that I reported on last night, that this double wave that's coming in the 14th, 15th, right? Okay. Then we have this. We also had the M flare from yesterday, I think, come our direction as well. So we have several inbound waves of energy. Just real quick while we're here, I just thought of this. I want to go check the Enlil spiral. It's probably not up, but if not, hopefully not. I want to see last night's image, if it's still up there. Yeah, it looks like it is. All right, bear with me for a sec as this loads up. All right, here we go. So this double hump right here is a double impact that we're due to get here. Let me start the video. Takes a sec. Whoops, dang it. All right, here we go with our double impact wave. 1, 2, right there. That's the 15th, 16th time frame, not the 14th, the 15th, 16th time frame. All right, so this will be our next shot on the chin, is going to be this double whammy right here. Okay, and they're not cannibalizing. It's 1, 2. The second one really solid. Okay, we'll clip the first one, will clip us, and the second one will give us a direct hit. So this inbound energy is already more than enough to trigger off more volcanoes and earthquake activity. So as soon as this impacts, absorbs down to the core is going to heat and swell. It's going to cause that magma to heat and swell and roil, causing earthquakes and volcanoes at the surface. All right. Hold on, folks, because we got a lot of waves coming our way. This was more than enough right here. Now we also are pretty likely to have this X2.8 come our way and hit us right, or, give us a glancing blow. Let me come over to this instrument real quick, this site. Let's go ahead and read this article here real quick. Strongest flare of the current solar cycle. Sunspot 3514 erupted December 14th, producing a strong 2.8, X2.8. This is the strongest flare of the solar cycle 25 so far, and the most powerful eruption the sun has produced since the great storms of September 2017. Weren't we just talking about September 2017 last night? Wow. NASA's Solar Dynamics Observatory recorded the extreme ultraviolet flash. Radiation from the flare has caused a deep shortwave radio blackout over the Americas. Oh, blackout map. Cool. Let's see it. There it is. I knew it. Big old red spot over South America. So there it is. All right. They had it captured. A lot of energy we just absorbed right here. Okay, even though this isn't the CME, this is still a bunch of X-rays, gamma rays, all kinds of, exotic particles coming our way and bombarding our magnetic field. All right, the magnetic field diverts it to the poles divert it to the core. We just went over that. It swells, we get earthquakes. So big impact means big earthquakes, big volcanoes. All right, I'm not trying to scare you guys. I'm just trying to give you a big warning, a heads up right now. This is not good. I pray to God I'm wrong. Let's all start praying right now, because this is serious. All right. A lot of people might poo-poo this a little bit, but this is nothing. This is gonna have impacts down the road here soon that will be catastrophic and take lives. All right. Unfortunately, it's just that way. I can't really. I don't want to sugarcoat it, but I don't want to, fearmonger either. We just got to be brutally honest about this. All right. Back to this. Radiation from the flare has caused a deep shortwave radio blackout over the Americas. Ham radio operators may have noticed loss of signal at all frequencies below 30 hertz. So, all frequencies below 30 megahertz, all right? Think of that when we're looking at our Schumann. For more than 30 minutes after the flare. All right, it's too soon to know for sure, but this explosion probably launched a fast coronal mass ejection with an Earth-directed component. Okay, an Earth-directed component. That means probably the edge of it. We're gonna get a sideswipe by it. The U.S. Air Force is reporting a Type 2 solar radio burst. Ooh, let's click on this real quick. See what that's showing me. Whole article. Never mind. Don't want the whole article right now. Anyways, back to this. The Type 2 solar radio burst, which typically comes from the leading edge of the CME. Based on the drift rate, the radio burst, the emerging CME's velocity could exceed 2,100 kilometers per second or 4.7 million miles per hour. Stay tuned for confirmation. Okay. So we will come back later at the show tonight. We'll have more updated information. We'll have confirmation. We'll probably have some more updated telemetry from, Enlil and the other spiral. The Geminid meteor shower was awesome last night. I don't know if you guys took my advice and went out and looked, but right after my show, I went out, had a cigarette, looked up, and man, within 10 seconds, I saw 3 of them. And that was like, pretty quick. I've never seen, that intensity before. Usually it's one every 5 minutes or something. To see 3 of them in the first 10 seconds, it was, I was a little shocked, and then continued to watch for a while. So it was quite an event. Anyways, there might be still some strays, tonight. Anyways, our current bad news kinda is this big X2.8. All right, I know it's exciting, but it's not gonna be good for us in the upcoming future here. Now, I've already got the earthquake map opened. We don't have any current quakes, any kind of resulting activity too much yet. Let's come over here just real quick, see what's going on here at the Cocos Plate. 5.0 and 5.4. So some energy release here at the Cocos Plate today. 5 probably, yeah, Mid-Atlantic Ridge. All right, so this hasn't transposed to our earthquakes yet, all right? Let's talk about this for a second, I guess, while we're here. First of all, deep quakes. When this happens, the deep quakes seem to shut down, and we get a flurry at a weak spot. So watch for a new flurry of quakes probably coming out of here. This new volcano probably erupting over here in Sumatra. Our weak spot right in here. All right, all this empty space just waiting to be filled in with new energy, with new earthquakes. All right, so High alert for everybody on the coast for, new quake activity coming in this next, well, starting from now, but mainly probably 24 hours from now, well, we got these double waves coming in on the 15th and 16th. So once they absorb, we will see repercussions from that. Um, that will bump up magnitudes. That will bump up activity. There'll be more quakes, higher magnitudes, some weak spot, swarming. That's what I expect to see here in the near future. All right. It hasn't affected the Schumann yet. That'll be one of our first indicators here in a little while of the 14th, 15th one. I'm just curious to see what it looks like right now, though. All right, yeah, so this was the event we covered last night. Right now we're pumping along strong, which is good. We want a nice green, solid green line for when these impacts come. All right, we want our magnetic field nice and vibrant and strong, not weak like this shadow. Excuse me, this shadowed weak area over here. All right. Then once these impact, once they get directed to the core is going to swell. We'll probably see another grind again. Okay. Lately, these events haven't been as big as they should be due to the energy coming in, and that is because of the perforations in the crust that are venting the pressure from below. Our new volcanoes and the earthquake activity is releasing that pressure down below, so our squealing, screeching events aren't as intense. All right, so the earth is finally kind of reacting by venting some of that built up pressure. We've had some new openings in the crust where pressure can be released, and therefore the grinding effect at the core shell level isn't as effective and doesn't take effect as quickly now. So, fair warning to everybody, this X2.8, a lot of be talking about this tonight. So, heads up, we got a lot of stuff to cover. So, go out there, listen to the other people and their reports as well, and what they have to say as well. And then I will be doing we'll be getting in depth on this event later on tonight. But I had to get out here and let you guys know right away. We just an X2.8 and a pretty good radio blackout, a 3. It's already over. Let me get back to this instrument right here. One more time while we're here at the Enlil. Open up this one more time. This double wave that's coming in next. I'll talk about this for a second. Oh, there it is. Play this little movie. Okay. An impact at Earth right here. 1, 2. The first one late on the 15th. The second one midday, early on the 16th. All right. So this double whammy right here is going to be our next contributing factor. And I would have been, saying a lot of this stuff in the earthquake report tonight, regardless of today's X flare. All right. So this is the next monster we got to deal with. All right. So this double impact, it's not a really severe one, but let's pray that first impact doesn't weaken the magnetic field just enough to where the second one is able to penetrate. All right. Hopefully the timing on these things is just right to where it doesn't seep through or create a crack in our magnetic field, and radiation and exotic particles make it through. All right. Regardless, when this impacts, it's going to affect the weather on those days. Lately, it affects the weather right away on impact. Then a couple days later, once it's absorbed down to the core, swelling happens. It reaches up to the underside of the crust, pushes up against that again. Then we're going to see, your earthquakes, your fissures, volcanic activity increase again here. So we had a little lull for a while, but look out, we got a lot coming in, and it's a lot to even keep up on. So we just took. Let me even back up a little bit more here. We just took one last night that I reported on that was not even expected. We had energy seep in last night, and I showed you the orange. Whoops, I might as well open this up. I showed you the orange down here last night. Okay, so that is right now, that orange effect from last night is transposing to the core right now. So pretty soon we're going to start to see an increase, a small increase from last night's event first. Then we will see the impact of these two, where to go? These two on the Enlil here, okay? Then we'll see this impact, which will boost up magnitudes and frequency of earthquakes and volcanoes again. So I expect to see a jump in magnitude and a jump in frequency from last night's. Then on the 15th, when these hit, we'll see severe weather those 2 days, and then the following 17th, 18th is when we'll probably see really, really severe, really strong earthquake activity and volcanic activity. Today being the 14th, and this X flare came off, it would hit on the 17th. So we would expect to probably see a third spike, a really big, a much bigger third spike now, right in this slot from the 17th to the 18th. Because today's the 14th, midday the 14th, that X flare came off, so it'll be, depending on the speed of it, X flares sometimes arrive early. They're traveling faster. It might actually catch up to these two. We'll see. I doubt it, but if it's at a fast enough velocity, it could possibly catch up to these two and make this second wave really, really big. All right, all kinds of scenarios going on right now. I wish I had access to their real instrumentation and their real, the filters and stuff that we don't hear and the public have access to, because it shows a lot. And it's important now that everybody be aware. Get ready for a bumpy ride, okay? And I'm not trying to forecast this stuff. I'm just telling you we have this inbound energy coming already, and it's about to get serious, all right? Then, if we go back to here, watch what happened today. Boom. All right? And then you see afterwards, look, here's the X flare. You see this one afterwards right here? There's still other activity back behind this, I bet. And today's not over. So it wouldn't surprise me if we saw another, these little spires right here that are glowing, they indicate sometimes where something's approaching, right? They magnetically kind of point like a compass needle to an inbound magnetic field. So we have a spire growing right here and one kind of growing down here. Even though those are there and we have our events coming off the side, it wouldn't surprise me if we, later on in the day, if we didn't see something coming out of this one, or maybe even this region again. Most likely this region, because this seems to be where today's event and the following activity comes right there. All right, even on this side, I could point at it, but boom. And then this one right here. All right, so we could possibly see another event coming. There's maybe more objects with this one. A lot of times what happens is the bigger object that's still coming all the moons that are planets that are rotating around it on the outer bands of it are the first ones that we interact with, are the outer bands of this bigger system, or this other system, we'll say. So when we see this one come in and strike and cause, that's not even a very big explosion. I'm surprised that's an X 2.8, but it must have, quite the power in it. It has, the magnetic power in it. Also, something, we had this flash down here. All right, usually this stuff is a glitch. All right, and I would consider this one a glitch too. You flip it over, it looks like it's the mirror image of this side. It's pretty much what it is. But the interesting thing is, after that event, there is something in this region. And when you put the flow, you can see something sitting there. There is something in that region. So maybe that wasn't a glitch, but I'm not going to get into it. It probably was, but it was a glitch that happened to be over something that's hiding right here. There's some flow going around something right here. Can't really capture it too well on the camera. Let me see if I can. Just a little bit for you there. Just after that little, it just appears that maybe there was something there. Maybe that glitch illuminated some magnetic field, the ionized it or something. I don't know. I don't really want to argue over it or speculate on it too much either. But it was just interesting how right where that glitch happened, there seems to be something sitting there. So let's. It's important that you kind of just look at this activity for a moment. How busy today has been already for being what, halfway through the day. Well, maybe 3/4 through the day now. You know what? Oh, dang it. Something else here. All right, let's go through this frame by frame. Opening frame right here, 024, 12/14/23. Okay. Note this CME that's already underway. You see this bubble right here. If this edge comes straight out, watch this. We might get clipped by this. See this object right there? That's what the glitch on the other side, I guess, is, refracting this event right here. But you can see our object right here causing this event. Now, when you see the magnetic field, see how it's a double bubble? There's a bubble here and then another bubble going right here. Let me back up a few. See it right here? That and this ghost one right back behind it here is coming our way. This is X flare. Also looks to be coming our way. Sorry. My heart is racing right now. I'm usually not nervous. I haven't been nervous in a while. Now we got this one. All right, there's an object in there. It's making a dent. All right, I really don't need to zoom in too much or whatever on that other object. I'm more worried about this flare right here, okay? If those other objects are coming in our direction, then most likely this CME would be accompanying the other ones in our direction. So on the 14th, is a possible double whammy. Maybe, you know, three of them gathering together as one, catching up to the other two. Hard to say right now. I wish we had satellites or telemetry in between us and the sun. We really need like almost like a net of buoys, like the buoys that on the the earthquake buoy system in between us and the sun. So when these waves start coming at us, we can tell how soon it hit the first buoy, the first sensor. I have a string of sensors out there. And then the time it hits the second sensor, we can do a math formula real quick and tell you the speed. We could also tell you with a net, I net the direction, velocity. There's so much instrumentation that we need out there I shouldn't even go there. We waste it all on other stupid stuff, killing each other, when we could have been using it properly to save our own asses. Anyways, so a lot to take in there. Our X2.8 got a object coming with it that helped induce it. Let's come back real quick. Oops, wrong one. Leave that one up. Let's see if we have a few more frames. Yeah, there's a few more frames added now. Let's see what was added. Boom, that one. This one up here. Okay, that was not much added. All right, this is the one we want to come back to. So, play this movie one more time for me. Okay, so our double whammy, 15th, 16th, with another X-flare coming off of it right behind that, probably due to hit the 17th. So 1, 2, 3 punch. All right, and I bet you this chart's going to change here. It might be a little delayed, a little further back. It might be a little sooner. Like I said, an X-flare sometimes travels faster than your normal flare. There's the 3 days is just an average. It's not a set amount of time. It's 93 million miles that this has got to go, and depending on its original velocity coming out, what's in its way could slow it up. These pressure waves, it could come racing up behind these pressure waves, and then all of a sudden slow up because these are in the way. All right, all kinds of effects can happen. That's why it's so crucial that we have a sensor array. It doesn't even have to be satellites. It could just be a sensor array that you can detect inbound energy, what the amperage, the voltage, the ohmage, just so much we could learn by doing that. And then it would, give us an early warning system. We could build the scale out of that. Yellow, orange, red, green type scale. Green being good, yellow being, watch out, orange being warning. We got something coming in, and then red being look out, it's an X-flare or whatever. We need to have some kind of system like that. And it probably exists out there. We just don't have access to it. And what we got, though, is good enough. All right? Good enough to give you a warning for right now. Watch out for this double impact event coming. All right? Today's the 14th. It's starting to ramp up right here. This is showing stereo A, and here Earth is showing it hit right at the 15th. So like midnight tonight, right, or UTC. When this clock turns midnight UTC up here is when they're expecting, bam, the hit right there, and then boom, another hit right there. Stereo B is out of service. It's still out there. It still gives some readings. I think they took the video part out of it because, we'll talk about that another day. Anyways, Very, very important to know we have this inbound energy, all right? Um, what else, Lord? Okay, let's come back over to here. I'm going to pop that open and let you guys look at that for a second, all right? It would be one thing if it was clear over here on the very limb, all right? But it's in this zone right here. Ah, dang it. Now we got to just remind me of that. Thank you, Lord. All right, so when we come back here, I want to point something out again. Let's open up this one, please. All right, here we are over at the Endless Spiral. The part I want to point out on this one is not the sea. Oh, there it is. Updated data. No shit. Thank you, Lord. Pardon my French. All right, it shows it kind of going away. Most of the intensity going away, but you see the edge of it. It's still going to clip us. Bink. Look over here at this one. This is the north-south. It seems to go a little bit, most of the energy south of us, but right here you see just off the earth, right next to it is where we're going to catch a glancing blow from that X2. Thank God it's not a direct hit, but look at that. We are going to get some, all right? Something else, when I was over here, what I want to point out is these black and white magnetic field lines, okay? The sun is spinning. You see these swirls. When something's coming straight out of the sun, it's not really hitting us straight on. It's still swirling back like this. This spiral takes a while to come around, all right? These magnetic field lines that attach to the Earth and the satellite are all attached to the sun. Well, they're in an arc shape, okay? They're not straight. The magnetic field line for the Earth comes up and then goes into part like the side of the sun. Can I zoom in on this a little bit more, Lord? Oh, yes, we can now. All right. Okay, the arched black and white lines actually attach more in this region of the sun instead of magnetically attaching straight on. Okay, magnetically. Now, as we back out of that, I want you. Where was it going with this one? Was it? No. This one. Okay, this is in that region. It's a little bit further back here, but where we're magnetically attached. All right, so we're getting a magnetic jolt from this. Even if we don't get CME smacked upside the head, we did get an electric jolt from the light socket. All right, and our planet is a battery. It's a capacitor. It has two poles like a battery, a positive and a negative. And when you send too much energy, electricity, electromagnetic electricity into the Earth, you overcharge it like a battery. Okay, and that's going to result as well in your earthquake, volcano activity, because it causes the Earth to swell from below, from within, to swell outward. Okay, and that's like overcooking an egg, overboiling an egg, and it cracks the shell. It stretches the shell from the inside, and the shell cracks. Those little cracks on a bigger scale on the Earth are fissures. Okay, these huge cracks that are, hundreds of feet deep, that rip a farmland in half, or some field gets ripped in half, and you have these 10-mile long fissures. Okay, we're going to be seeing that here. What else, Lord? What else? All right, so that's a. Thankfully, it wasn't dead on. Okay, because if that sucker had hit us straight in the middle, we would be sweating a little bit more. I'm actually relieved to see this. Okay, most of the energy, boom, going that way. Objects still coming towards us. Okay, hard to explain why these objects, what they are and why they're doing that, but it's a spiritual realm thing. Okay, we'll get into that when we get into our spiritual realm stuff. But they're coming to Earth because Earth is like the only inhabited planet has spirits on it for light years, right? So everything in the universe all coming to Earth to witness the grand finale. Okay? So let's just all collectively, when that wave goes past us, go whoo. Whew. All right. Everybody take a deep breath and whew. All right. So, still an X2. We did get a glancing blow from it. Thankfully, it's not a huge shot on the chin. We will be getting energy from it. We already have. Okay. It will result in activity lower. But this isn't over yet. It hasn't reached us. You know, things change. Models aren't always totally correct. What concerns me is when I look at this image back here, whoopsie, this image right here, is the fact that it's still on the Earth-facing disk. Okay, it's still on, it hasn't passed the limb yet. Okay, and then this region right here that's volatile, it's like a weak spot on the sun. Anything else comes screaming past here is going to probably latch onto this sunspot, this weak spot again, and cause another one possibly from this area. Last time when we had these sunspot regions going off, it was the same sunspot creating multiple M flares, multiple C flares. Well, we got an X flare. It could produce multiple X flares. The potential's there, all right? Everybody just keep your head on a swivel, keep praying. It's important that you guys know about your prayers. They're extremely important. They're real. No praying just to be joking around. This is serious business. We're in a spiritual war here, and your prayers mean a lot. Saying a prayer when I first saw this, going, "Oh my God, I hope this does not hit us." And look, whew, answered prayer already. All right, because they're showing it going pretty fast. Look how fast that goes out of the screen compared to our regular eruptions that we see on this Enlil spiral. See how quickly it covers from the sun to the outside of the circle here? Boom. So that's quite a fast moving CME right there. All right, because X flares do produce a little more power, so they, travel faster, have more density. Okay, so, wow, did we get lucky? Whew. Partway lucky. Okay, so X2.8 happened here just when, right after I started going live here. Let me even come back over here. We'll check our GOES X-ray flux. All right, see, we're still coming down out of this event. It's like a bad acid trip. It takes a while to come down from it. I don't know what made me say that, but it's kind of what I'm trying to articulate here. Is this a while? You can see this yellowing right in here that indicates a duration CME. These ones were, short-lived, long-duration ones, but look how long this one's going to be. What's going to happen from here? Are we going to go crashing down through the bottom of the seafloor? Are we going to have another eruption that takes us even higher up into the X range? Or are we going to have a secondary? See how we had the first big one and then a second medium-sized one. Maybe here we're going to have a first big one and then a second medium-sized one. We might have another M8 point something or whatever come out of that region again, all right? No telling. But right now, our X-rays are currently M1.1. We are in the pink right now over here, being bombarded by X-rays on the 1.1 scale. This needs a lot of rehashing and stuff too. Same with this instrument as well. Let me explain what I want to talk about on this. Let me zoom back out 1 or 2 clicks. Right there. Okay, the coloring on this chart here, you see Red being warning, that's the X zone, that's dangerous. Yellow being cautionary in the M zone. Green being, oh, the good zone right here, we're all good. There should be corresponding colorization going down as well. When we get below the seafloor and the sun starts to get weak, we need to be in a caution. When it gets below the B floor, it goes down into A territory, that's the sun really getting weak. That would be another color. It should be red or purple or black or something like that. All right. So a couple of little gray boxes that need to be colored in here, yellow and red or whatever. Okay. And oh yeah, heaven will be so awesome. I already know it. All your dreams come true, and the wildest stuff that you could never imagine. And when you're and this time around, you won't be sheep in the flock. You will be calves of the fold now. You will now, once you cross over into heaven and you get into that realm, I'm not going to spoil it for you. Nope, nope, not going to spoil it for you. Let's just say it's worth the fight, okay? A lot of pain and stuff we have to suffer here in this realm, but this is actually breathing compared to eternity. I did an example for a class one time. I took this wooden wagon wheel, all right? And this is a pretty good sized wooden wagon wheel from the 1800s, right? It's like maybe 6 feet tall almost. It's a huge wheel. And in that wheel, it's all made out of wood. There's just billions and billions of splinters, right? And I told this class, I said, imagine if this wagon wheel made out of wood encompassed the earth, all right? The entire earth. It went, from this point all the way around the earth and connected in one big circle and was all made out of wood. One little splinter out of all of that wood would be the moment in time that this generation, that this whole earth has existed in, would be just one splinter out of that whole rail of wood that goes around the earth. That to give you a comparison of our time frame compared to eternity. And that the reason why it's a wooden wheel is because the wheel goes all the way around and it never ends. It's just cyclical. It's a perfect circle. Time is never ending. We're just in one little sliver of that wooden wheel, all right? So when we're done here and we move on into eternity, actions that you took here will speak volumes for eternity. That's why it's so important that you get this game right now before it's too late. Okay? And these are all indicators. This is all signs in the sun. I'm just using man's modern day telemetry, their astrophysics, to explain to you what's happening, what's going on, and how it will cross over and pertain to the spiritual realm. Okay? You guys are in a battle for your souls, and it's really you're in a battle against yourself. Okay? There's a war on for your mind. Okay? The evil factions want you and your mind and your spirit to drift down the evil path and become violent. That's the easy way. The hard way is to be passive, to be forgiving, to be helpful, to be positive. That's the hard way. The easy way is the criminal way. The hard way is the legitimate way, all right? And that's what makes a person righteous, is doing it the legitimate way, even though everybody else is shortcutting, cheating, getting rich, whatever. You're still trying to do it the honest way, because that way, in the back of your mind, you're all good and you can sleep at night. These other people got a second guess. Well, what if I get caught? What if somebody notices? They don't get to sleep well at night. And now with the spiritual realm opening up and becoming more and more visible, they are going to start to shudder in fear when the reality hits them that this is a spiritual thing, not just make as much money on earth as you can. He who dies with the most toys wins. That's not what it's been about this whole time. It's been a spiritual battle of you versus yourself. Okay? Don't let the media steal your spirit. They are trying to crush your spirit with bad news, with all kinds of negativity, trying to induce violence and everything. We have enough on our plate already without these bozos pulling their shenanigans. All right? So, my crowd, you guys, the elite, the true elite, truth, true elite, okay, not the criminals. I don't even call them elite. They're just criminals. All right? They're going to be begging for the rocks to fall on them. You are going to be dancing in the street, laughing, going, I am going to heaven, and the criminals have their chance. Things are ramping up. They're getting serious. All right? We're getting closer and closer to Christmas. I'm doing this 12 days of Christmas thing for a reason, and you'll see at the end, and you'll get a nice little gift out of it, and the whole world will get a nice little gift out of it. You see how I work. I give my gifts out in little videos and evidence that I've captured and stuff, right? So we'll keep working on that as we continue on tonight. Boom. X-Flare, everybody. X 2.8. Potential's out there now, all right? Big energy. Regardless of this 2.8, like I said, I still wanted to talk about this double. Why did I back out of it again? This double impact coming here on the Enlow. All right, so there's our first concerns starting around midnight on. Well, here, let me play that movie again. Can we pause that thing? Oh, we can. Boom. Whoops. So right about here, 1 o'clock UTC on the 15th. Right about here. I'm not going by the Stereo B. I'm going by these two that are here by Earth, all right? Stereo A and Soho. So right here about 1 o'clock is when this first impact is going to hit us, all right? And that could cause a little bit of pressure pushing down on the Earth as well and cause some small quakes immediately. Same with the second wave when it hits. But when both of these waves combine, plus this whatever little bit hits us from the X-Flare, all absorbed down to the core, that core is going to heat up. That core is made of metal. When metal heats, it expands. The shell around it is made of another metal, probably in a liquid state that has been compressed from pressure into a solid. Much like mercury is a liquid but can be a solid as well. It's probably a metal that is in a solid state but is a liquid something similar to that, because when it rotates inside of the shell, it produces an electromagnetic field, much like a little small electric motor does. When you spin the shaft, if you don't have it plugged in, if you just spin the shaft manually with your hand, you're producing electricity at the ends of either of those wires. It works the other way. When you hook those wires up to electricity, it spins the shaft. Okay, so imagine our planet being that little electric motor hooked up to, the sun being the battery. The sun powers the motor that spins the core, all right? But when the core and the shell grind on each other, it creates that screeching activity. They expand. The shell wants to heat up and expand outward as well, but there is so much magma and pressure coming from above down onto that shell that it's hard for it to expand outward into the magma. Even though the magma is fluid, it's hard for that layer to expand up into that magma because the pressures are so intense down there. It's probably diamond everything down there because the pressures are so intense at that depth. Okay. Now, when that little dynamo stops spinning, that's when the shell and the core grind, that dynamo slows down, stops doesn't stop spinning, but slows down, and thus our magnetic field weakens. When these impacts hit, they cause that slowing down of the core. The first impact, say it absorbs and causes the core to weaken or the core to swell and grind, thus our magnetic field weakening. Then the second one hits us while we're in a weak state. That's why these 1-2 punches can be dangerous. Luckily, this looks close enough together that the absorption takes too long for that double impact for the field to be weakened that quickly before the double impact. So I don't think that's going to happen this time, but that is one of the factors that we have to watch out for when we're playing this game. All right. And the game is getting ramped up here. You can see it. And especially with this X2.8, I wasn't surprised that we got an X Flare, but I was a little shocked to see a 2.8 and where it came from. Let me just get back to this image one more time, okay? Not center disc, but just off to the right. We saw the spiral things showing just a glancing blow, but still, potential there's still something gonna hit us, all right? Because I can guarantee you something's gonna hit us when I look at this. Let's go back. Whoops. This site. We go back to, please, one more. I can tell it's going to hit when we have this. Where'd it go? This impact thing. Oh, it was on this site, maybe. Blackout map, that one, right there. All right? That indicates that some energy is coming our way because when it first went off, the first wave hit us. All right, boom. Now the Earth will probably be in a different position when the CME hits us days later. Okay, but this is what makes me think we're gonna have some impact from that. It showed just a side swiping. Imagine how big this would have been if that CME had hit directly. It probably would have read out, on the top part and the bottom part of the map, where the southern pole is all red and the northern half of the thing is all red with a big red spot in the middle. All right, so it's not the biggest impact. It's not a planet killer. It's an X2.8. It's not the end of the world, but it is a significant event and a possible indicator